And we are live. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I hope you guys are having an awesome Christmas and lead up to Christmas. I suppose that's the best way to describe it. Lead up to Christmas. It isn't the titular day yet. But because it is the lead up to Christmas, myself and Jen has decided to discuss another festive flick about a sociopathic child that takes on two hapless fucking um criminals. Harry and Marv could be on the breadline. They could be They could have been auto workers who worked in Detroit and have no other choice now. But yeah, tonight, as well as my gorgeous girlfriend, we're also joined by another staple of the community, an absolute legend, a pure gentleman, and a fantastic creator of live streams and music videos. Trenchy, aka the Soulless Trench Coat. Trenchy, thanks for joining us, dude.
Thank
Thank you for having me on.
No, it's always a blast to have you on. So yeah, we're talking about 1990s Home Alone, directed by Chris Columbus, written by John Hughes, yes, the man behind the Breakfast Club,
you. You can
so on
tell
and
too. You
you
can tell.
can. And this was the vehicle as well. He did appear in smaller bit parts, but this is really what launched Macaulay Culkin's career, was Home Alone. And yeah, it's anywhere in the world, even here in Ireland, on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, this is shown like clockwork, religious, like about 3 o'clock during the day. If you're sitting down after having your turkey and stuff, this is on TV. And my niece and nephew love this. My cousins love. Everyone fucking loves Home Alone. I think I know there are people out there that don't. But Jen, what's your experience with Home Alone?
It's weird because I'm not a Christmas person, but even oh God, how old were we when that movie came out? I was probably 9ish, 10ish, probably when this movie came out, and I actually really enjoyed this movie. And the thing I remember, and I wish I knew what the hell happened to it when this came out on VHS. They did a promotional thing, and you could get a poster of like how Kevin McAllister, the house, and all of his traps and stuff. And I remember I got the tape and that poster, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I don't know if anyone else remembers this, but if anyone else does, like you would get when the VHS came out, you got a free poster and it showed all the traps. And I thought that was the coolest shit ever. And the movie made me laugh. Like I knew who Joe Pesci was before Home Alone, but I like the fact that we always think of him as the gangster in serious roles. But and it's not just Home Alone. He actually does have a lot of comedicness on his resume, and I think this one really works. And Daniel Stern is very charming too. Like, this is a movie, as people have joked, is a movie that someone probably sold their soul to get the ups right. But there's something charming about it, despite it being very, when you look at it cinematically, there's nothing really special about it. It shouldn't have worked, and yet it did.
It does. It's a preposterous scenario, but it does work. Also, before I continue, just want to say hello to Larry, Horror Cat Dad's in the chat, and we also have Lamona in the chat.
Hi.
Hey Larry, hey Larry,
Hello.
oh, Larry the jammy bastard says I still have that poster, Jen.
Oh, damn it, Larry! I don't know where mine. At least I'm not crazy. It was the coolest fucking poster ever.
What was it? Jen, was it a recreation of the blueprints that Kevin made? How the traps are going to be laid out, or was it
kind of blueprints? It was the house, and I remember it had the little spider on it, the tarantula, and it just showed all the traps, and it just was the coolest thing. And I don't remember for the life of me what happened to mine, but I remember thinking it was so cool. And you got it free when you got the VHS, and I fucking loved that poster. I should look on eBay and see if, of course, it's probably a fortune if anyone would be selling it, but it's a cool thing.
Yeah, Larry says it was a cartoonish version, so I'm guessing it is
Yeah.
maybe the kind of plan that Kevin drew up with crayons and stuff. And yeah, it's a fun movie. It's a kick-ass movie. Trenchy, what's your thoughts and introduction on Home Alone, the original Home Alone?
Uh, I I used to be not too big on it, and I still like the second one more because I did rewatch both. But on the rewatch of the first one, I don't know, something about this time because it had been a while. I usually watch 2 and 3 more, but it's like I'm like, oh, it hit, like it hit. When a movie hits, it hits. So I'm like, oh, I really liked it this time around. I still like Home Alone 2 more because I think that's a funnier movie. But Home Alone 1 has like the best heart in it. I feel like the best parts of that movie are with him and the old man and the mom trying to get home to him. I think those are the best parts of the movie. Like the traps are great and the bad guys are great, but I think part 2 does that better, but part 1 has the better heart for sure.
Yeah.
It definitely does. Like you said, Robert Blossom's Mr. Marley. Again, he goes from this intimidating figure to this character who is essentially the savior of Kevin near the end of the movie. I love the fact Robert Blossoms also played a version of Ed Gein in Deranged as well. And
I love that movie, Marty. I love that movie.
yeah, it's like Ed Gein saved fucking Kevin from Harry and Marv.
He did. Although I wish they were like, when Buzz is telling Kevin about, he salts the bodies, and I was like, oh, I hope we're getting that kind of movie. And no, we didn't. Also, has anyone had this question lingering with them since childhood? What the hell does John Hurt do for a living? Because I mean, he can afford how many pizzas, and they live in a fucking mansion, and they're going away to like fucking, out of the country for the holidays, and not just a small family, but like their brothers and cousins and everything. What the hell does he do for a living?
Okay, so the theory, there's an actual theory going on, but before I answer that, Leah says I tear up towards the end of this movie every time. Yeah, it's pretty. But there's a theory that John Hurt's character is involved in organized crime, and he deliberately leaves Kevin behind and basically wants him out of the picture because he's too many children.
Well, see, that makes sense because he knew Tony Soprano. If we're going in film,
yeah,
he did know Tony Soprano. He was a cook and cop, but he could work.
Him and Marv also had to deal with the Chud.
Yes, that the fucking alumni, the fucking Chud alumni return. Let's see. He's paying for all those tickets as well. Yeah, Jesus. Man, I'd sneak my way into that family. No one would notice, and I'd get a free chip and a pizza. The Polka King of the Midwest. John Candy.
Candy, yeah.
I like as well. The uncle is an absolute art. He treats Kevin like shit, yet he bums a free trip and free stuff off his fucking wealthy brother or stepbrother.
I think that's relatable. I think, well, maybe not to this degree, but I think we all have that one kind of slimy relative that, not pedophilia or anything, but they're just kind of slimy, but they'll do whatever to get what they can out of it. I think every family has one. Probably a pedophile too, but let's not go there. It's Christmas.
But no, if he was a pedophile, he wouldn't have minded Kevin recording him in the shower.
I guess that's true. You pervert.
He's the least evil Uncle Frank out of cinema.
Yeah, that's
He's not
true.
the most evil.
Candy was one of the greats. Yeah, there's a whole host of theories and stuff. We haven't even gotten into Elvis turning up behind Kevin's mum at the airport.
That one's bullshit. He barely looks like Elvis. I don't get it.
Lamona says, "Look what you did, you little jerk." But yeah, so Trench, like, how have you any crazy theories or ideas or things you always suspected or any kind of headcanon for Home Alone?
No, I do kind of like the one that he grows up to be John Kramer, and you can
Yeah.
kind of see it in the sequel because in the sequel, Macaulay Culkin does a weird thing where sometimes he's genuine, but then sometimes, even when he's saying nice things, it feels like Hannibal Lecter or the Good Son is talking to you. I'm like, this is Home Alone 2, not the Good Son. Stop doing that. But it kind of makes the movie better. It's really funny. It's like, this is borderline sociopathic. It's very disturbing.
Got a good
It,
point, Rich.
but essentially, you have this very affluent family living in Chicago. As Jen pointed out, they have a magnificent house, and they're all going to France. And somehow, Jen, as a parent, like I know they've a lot of kids, and I know the neighbor kid comes along and fucks up the head count. But like,
That was a question even back. I remember when we were in the theater, I remember people talking about this and stuff, and I heard parents going, yeah, and they brought up the same thing. Yeah, we get that there's a shit ton of people, and I guess you could. It's one that you can call bullshit, but I guess technically it possibly could happen. It sort of happened with the one, and it was based on a true story with the open water, where they miscounted the people. Only then they died at sea. So it's possible, and I think that's where this movie kind of works. They put enough believable in it to make it go, okay, you can suspend your disbelief. But as a parent, you know how I am I'm not a helicopter mom, but in some ways I am, and I know where my kids are. Even the one that's over 20, I know where they are.
like I know one could argue, look, the McAllisters wake up late, they're pressed for time, they're under pressure, and they have a load of kids, but still, Jesus Christ. Like, is Kevin the youngest?
I think so. Yes, I believe he's the youngest, and he's like a Marsha. And I can understand that. And see, it was fascinating watching this movie as a kid because he goes, "I wish I was an only child," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty great." This movie did not make me want to have a big family. I'm like, I am so lucky I'm an only child.
Lily says, how'd you forget you have a whole ass kid in the attic, though?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to judge because parenting is as hard as it is. You wish it was that easy, but on the other hand, like I would almost like I would be fucking like I would never forgive myself if that happened with me with one of my kids. What kind of and Catherine O'Hara, to her credit, she goes, "What kind of mother am I?" And the audience is like, "Yeah, what kind of mother are you?" But it could happen. Like I don't want to be too much of a bitch, but it could happen. But yeah, as a mom, we're all sitting there in judgment like you forgot your kid. Really?
Again, like I know people do, like nowhere near as comparable, but myself and my mom, when we went to Spain, she forgot her phone. Again, a phone is a different thing from a child, but like, fucking, it's still just as an essential part. So, it's okay. I've just compared an android to a fucking
Well,
child.
sometimes I can hear some people who are not kid people go, you know what, how fucking hard it is. You got all your shit on your phone. You can make another kid, but your phone's a hard thing to do.
Trench, you want to chime in that argument?
What? About children versus cell phones?
Whatever. Which
I don't have either, so I don't have a dog in that fight.
What
Trenchy,
about?
would you judge a parent though? Like if they forgot you, would it be something you'd bring up for the rest of their lives? Like no one would ever hear the end of it. Because I know if my parents did that, they would never fucking hear the end of it.
I would probably forgive them eventually, but they'll be reminded of it. And it's like that's like I'll be reminded of the shit I did. I'll go remind you of the shit you did. That's just how it works.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you.
I can't believe you're marrying that hussy, Trenchy. I can't believe you forgot me in a foreign city, Mom. So,
which one's worse? Maybe because of the trauma is why I'm marrying the hussy.
Leigh says, man, I wouldn't even forget about my Tamagotchi. They're already needy things, Um, but so yeah, the movie starts. Kevin has a big bust up with his family. He's sent to the attic, his room, and yeah, it just establishes the family. It's clever. It establishes the family. It establishes the layout of the house. We know about Buzz. We know that he has a tarantula. We know he has a BB gun. Things like going down to the basement. They're all real clever little things. Even say Buzz sets up Marley. Actually, Buzz sets up a lot of the lore and a
Mhm.
lot of the kind of stuff that's used later on, and it's clever. And then we get our first appearance of fucking Joe Pesci as Marv. And yeah, here's another thing. A lot of people are like, yeah, he's just him and Harry are like, they're burglars and stuff. But some people like, did Marv kill a cop to get that uniform?
I
I,
never thought of that. Like it's never occurred to me that he killed. They had costume shops even back in the 90s. They had costume shops. I always just thought it was like a costume.
It's a pretty legit looking uniform, though, Trench. Do you think Marv killed a cop and took the uniform?
Well,
I
he's just
think
really dark.
I, I don't, he's not above killing. Like, he's not above killing people. He tries to kill a child twice, but I don't know. That's a little too high. I don't think you'd be walking around in the neighborhood in a van like that if you killed a cop. I think maybe they stole one somehow, but I don't. Or maybe they got a costume. I don't know if you would be that conspicuous if you just killed a cop, unless it was like in another state or something. Maybe.
Hmm. I don't know.
This is a family picture, Marty.
It just always bugged me that he had access to like a really good police uniform and
I always
like
just thought he probably, and then you could a lot of, and this has been in like actual things like they have places where cops go to get their shit, and you have to show ID. But I think in the 90s it wasn't quite as regulated as it is now, and
it.
even now there's ways you can do it.
It
Not
it
that I
turns
looked into it.
it turns out Marv has Velcro on the back of his pants because it's a strippergram one.
Ooh,
Larry says clearly he knocked off a dry cleaners that day.
that's
Yeah.
smart too. That's a good.
Yeah,
That's actually sound. That's a sound theory.
that
So
sounds like them.
Yeah, especially with the Wet Bandits. It seems like they would have. I don't know why that just works with dry cleaning. I don't know why.
I feel like they're not above killing people, but at the same time, I can't see them killing anybody successfully. Like, it's just
Mhm.
hard to see them. Like, they're just kind of too. They're not inept, but they're getting the shit being out of them by a child. It's very. I don't know. I don't know. I could see them like hitting somebody over the head, but I don't know about actually killing somebody successfully.
as well, they're lucky they made it into the sequel because if they were sent to like fucking Sin Sin or Attica or somewhere like that, and they're like, oh, it goes from they tried to murder a child to they abused a child. The two of them are getting shanked in the fucking shower rooms. They're like, you piece of shit. It's like Jesus Christ, Harry and Marv meet a horrible end. But so yeah, the family goes away, leaves Kevin alone, and maybe it's just my anxiety. I would have been shitting biscuits if I was Kevin. It's like, fuck, my family are gone. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Like, Danny's also. I'm sorry, the child is stupid. I made my family disappear. Kid, your family are going on holiday the next fucking day. Don't be fucking dim, okay? Okay.
I think a lot of kids would freak out. I don't think I would have. I would have been like, I've got access to the credit cards. We got groceries. I'm good.
But yeah, again, is that like you think it depends on the child? You think
Yes.
some kids are just resilient and Kevin already has animosity towards his parents, so he's like going to make the most of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think with this one, I think even a kid like me, yeah, it'd be fun, but then eventually you'd be like, okay, well, but then I told my mom watching this as a kid, I'm like, I would probably like get a hold of someone, like call the authorities or
Yeah.
something. And I think most kids would.
What was there something in the plot about the neighbors being fucking gone as well? That he
Yeah.
goes up there now. No, okay, all right.
I
Yeah,
think
because
I think they were knocking off the block because everybody on the block was supposed to be gone, and the people
Yeah.
next door that he uses the house, they went to Florida, and that was their kid that kind of fucked up the head count.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that was it. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, it's just I suppose again it also kind of pushes forward that Kevin is an exceptionally adept and clever child as well because like he does go off and fucking buy junk food, but he goes off and gets groceries and gets a toothbrush and stuff for himself.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? I forgot about that.
Um, this is Harry has a lot of hatred inside him. Yeah, I suppose. Trench, how would you have reacted if you were in Kevin's shoes?
Well, there was one time when I was a kid, I was supposed to go to my grandparents' house to get picked up by my grandpa, but I accidentally forgot and got on my bus. And I was home alone for a little bit. And at first it was cool, but then it got dark, and then eventually I went to the house upstairs and asked them to call, like, my grandfather and stuff.
Okay, okay. So
So
I again,
it's cool at first, but then if you're at a certain age, if it starts getting dark, you're like, oh shit. Especially if you live in certain neighborhoods, you're like, oh yeah, maybe I should do something about this. This
I,
is,
I,
this is
I suppose at the same time though, Buzz says it that like we live in the fucking suburbs, not like I think Kevin's sisters are like worried about him, and Buzz turns around and he's like, "Look, we live in the suburbs where nothing happens.
We
There's
live on
plenty of
the
food." And
most
he's,
boring street in
yeah,
America. I think,
yeah.
yeah.
So I suppose that's the thing as well.
I always
Also,
like. I don't mean to interrupt you, Marty, but that was like as a kid. It's something I still take with me because I always loved the line from the movie. He goes for two reasons. A, I'm not that lucky, and I've always loved that, and I've often injected it into other parts of my of conversation. I always thought as a kid that was such a cool response. I'm not that lucky. I always love that. We live in the most boring street in America.
it is again it's one of those things that probably just depends on the kid, depends on the situation, depends on where they live. I think their financial status has a lot to do with it as well because I think if you have a lot of money and you are kind of privileged and affluent, you feel that you are a lot more secure.
Safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point too. And that's not just with kids. I think that's just with everyone. Even if they don't mean to be, it's just kind of things seep in whether you want them to or not.
Lay just said something really funny. You mean one of the most expensive neighborhoods in the Chicago suburbs? I would have even tried robbing them.
I know, really. You can't blame them.
I. But what else? What was I going to say? So Kevin's on his own. He's trying pizza. Hey Kal-El, we have the legend that is Kal-El in the chat. If you haven't checked out, oh sorry, Trench, go on.
oh, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go on. What were you going to say, dude?
Just have a question. Do you think Harry and Marv were gonna kill him if he didn't do the traps? Like if they just broke in and he was there, do you think they would have taken him out, or do you think they would have just spared him and robbed the house?
Well, they did kill a police officer and take his uniform, so I don't think they'd have no problem capping a child. That's just, you know.
I don't know. I think that probably they would have tied him up and I don't think they would have killed him. I don't think they would. Now they were getting pissed. Now they might have wanted to murder him toward the end, but I don't think initially they would have done it. I don't think.
Yeah, I think the only reason they wanted to kill him is because he fucking like tortured them, and then he was in their way, and I think the thing was I think they were a little mad that he was tricking him, but if they got in the house the first time, I don't know how they would have reacted. Obviously, they don't want to get caught, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, like murdering a child to not get like. I think it would be like a revenge murder.
Yeah.
If they murdered
actually, do you know what? Genuinely, I don't think they would have, because they have a conversation in the van. It's like, hey, kid's still there. We'll wait till it gets dark. Yeah, kids are scared of the dark. I think they were just going to try just fucking scare him or intimidate him. I don't think they would have killed him, in all honesty.
But my question is, why didn't Kevin just like that? Even me, like, it's one thing to be left home alone, but when you know that people are planning to rob you and you have hours before they're gonna rob you, what? I would have been calling the cops.
Cal says
Why
in part
doesn't he
two,
do that?
yeah, well, no, they kind of explain that as well, because he panics when he sees Mr. Marley and runs out of the shop without paying for the toothbrush, and the clerk or the checkier totally overreacts. It's a child. It's a fucking child. She's like, quick, stop him. And it's like, it's a child who stole a fucking toothbrush. Didn't even steal. Just got a fucking scare and ran off with a toothbrush. And he's like, oh, the popo are after me now.
I'm a criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yes.
forgot about that part, but wait.
I think another part of it is the whole movie, people are kind of saying he's useless, he can't do anything, he's incompetent. So I think part of it, he's like, look, I'm going to defend my house on my own. I'm going to show that I can do things on my own. You know, I bought milk on my own. I went to the store on my own. Yeah. I held down the house on my own, and now I'm going to defend my house on my own because I'm the man of the house now.
Yeah, it's very much a wish fulfillment, child empowerment kind of thing. And then you're right, Trench, because at the end, everyone's impressed. Oh, you got the groceries, you did this. Everyone is impressed with him at the end. So that's a good point.
Except Buzz, because he destroyed Buzz's room.
Well, I would be pissed too. And that spider is cute. I like that little spider.
Cal reckons he didn't call the police because he was worried child services might take him away. That's a good point.
That's a fair one.
Yeah, maybe that could have been it. Although since they were friendly, probably not. But I get the logic. I get the logic.
I think he just panicked, and you're like, you know, when you're a kid and something like that happens, you get afraid of authority figures. Lee also says the average police response time is not worth calling them. To be honest, Kevin had to take matters into his own hands. Jesus, yeah. And again, like Trenchy says, Cal says the Jigsaw origin story had to start somewhere.
Exactly.
I
watched a fascinating video of actual doctors analyzing this film, and Harry and Marv would have been dead 30 times over.
Oh yes, we're getting into that. We're getting the thing I love as well is it's a Looney Tunes cartoon. I gotta emphasize something, and thanks to Trench, because Trench used it as his thumbnail. Marv is literally electrocuted into a fucking Halloween decoration. That's why I love that. I love that.
And that's part 2, but it's still the traps in both movies, and in part 3, it's what the fuck? Even a simple when they slip on the pavement, it's they could have broken their back or their neck. That is. Yeah. You could survive that. You could, and sometimes you could get up and be like, oh, I'm fine, but it's that could have easily cracked their skull. And I think one of the most deadly ones besides the explosions and fire is when he's just throwing bricks into Marv's head. It's like Marv should be like his face should be inside. There's just like he should not have a face. This is not no.
Trench, I have a question for you. Who do you feel sorry for more? The crooks that go up against Kevin McAllister or the crooks that go up against Batman?
Well, the thing is, the crooks that go up against Kevin are lucky they're in a kids' film, or they'll be. Well, Batman will beat you half to death and then pay for your hospital bills. So if you get out and do crime, he'll beat you more. It might hurt more with Batman, but Kevin will kill you if you're not in a kids' movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Marty,
again.
also, like, I guess part 2 wouldn't have been so fun if, like, Harry and Marv were quadriplegic. Like, the jokes wouldn't have landed as well.
Well, fuck. They're going around like fucking Lieutenant Dan, and fucking Kevin's just rolling them downstairs and shit.
I mean,
I don't know how they could even walk. They're stepping on nails and glass. I'm like, oh my god, I would have been out of there. After the nail or after the glass, I'm done. I don't even want to get to the fire, the electrocution. It's like, once we're stepping on glass, I'm out.
Dude,
that's John McClane's thing.
Dude, were you in Nam? No, I was in the McAllister house.
That would have been a whole different movie if we'd been a little bit more real. Like, it would have been fucked up, but that would have kind of been funny.
Jesus, just the cops arrive, and Kevin's like, they didn't give up and they were thirsty for more. Child, you just killed a man. You killed a man, child. We're taking you away. You took a human life. They're okay. They got up. His head's mashed into the fucking pavement.
He blows fucking Harry up in the second one. Harry's head is on fire and he goes to dip his head in the toilet, but he put like flammable liquid in the toilet and there's a giant explosion and he's just in there, all Looney Tunes covered in sun. It's like he blew a guy up. He blew a man up. What the fuck? Wait, and it's like, that's like his uncle's house. How is his uncle gonna, like, I don't know I know it's renovating, but I hope none of those traps are still active when the uncle comes home.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because he doesn't go back to, like, fix anything. He just leaves in part 2.
A New York construction crew were horribly maimed when a series of elaborate traps. Jesus Christ. I never thought about that, Trench.
Yeah, I mean, they probably all went off. I get he had it down to the letter, but still, one trap is still active. Or some of those traps, like, it's hard to get rid of because there's sludge on the ground, so if somebody tries to grab that ladder, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's like they did have to condemn that fucking building.
Plus, there's flammable stuff all over the place. I'm surprised it just doesn't catch a flame because there's flammable shit all over the place. There's paint all over it, kerosene, whatever else he got his hands on. I don't know how the hell he got his hands on kerosene, but he did.
Jesus. But yeah, it's I don't know. Leigh's got a question. Also, what does Kevin's uncle do in part 2 for a living? Brownstone building in New York City. That's well over. Yeah, again, the McAllisters must be involved in organized crime.
That's the only thing that fits, isn't it?
Yeah, Leigh says these McAllisters are ballers.
Yeah, I think so. I'm kind of thinking that the Tony Soprano thing is looking more and more viable the longer we go in this stream. That it seems like, yeah.
Jesus. Actually, Jen, will we see if anyone else wants to jump in on this discussion as well?
Sure.
Will I open up the phone? I'm going to drop in a thing there, and all I ask is don't be a dick and don't show your dick, and we'll get on fine. That includes me, Jen, before you say anything.
Well, but it's Christmas. When am I gonna get to unbuckle my surprise?
Jesus Christ. There's a link there. Anyone else wants to come in and we'll just shoot you shit about Home Alone 2, your likes, your dislikes, and you're more than welcome to jump in.
Ooh.
What did you think? Actually, Jen, what did you think of Old Man Marley, Robert Blossom's performance? It's very small performance, but good
He
nonetheless.
scared the dickens out of me, Marty. He scared the dickens. Get it?
Jesus.
Because fuck you all. It was funny.
Nate, jump in, Nate. You're more than welcome. Nate, the link is there. Jump in, dude.
Feel free. And all kidding aside, I actually like the character. I mean, it's cliche, and we've seen this done in hundreds of other films before and since. You know, the creepy guy that has a heart of gold and a pretty sad backstory. But you know, the one thing I can give this film is it's not too syrupy. Like they handle it. It's sweet. It has it definitely has an impact, but they don't go too into that diabetic syrupy sweetness. And I like that. And I like how he kind of, especially Marley, plays it very understated. Like he doesn't do it too sweetsy. It's a very understated thing. When they're talking in the church, they're just talking like as much as a movie can, especially this kind of movie, they're just talking like two dudes would talk. And it's not, you know, it's not too manipulative for the audience. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's nice. Like he isn't like outwardly grandfatherly looking. He's still an intimidating looking guy, but his voice is very soft. You don't have to run. I come here, I come to church so I can see my granddaughter, and and like Kevin and usually like Marley is like look, you know, you gotta stand up to things and you gotta kind of take account of things. And then Kevin, which is a twist, the kid gives him some advice as well. I get Nate, feel free to jump in, guys. Let's see. Hang on a minute. Let's see here. I feel like the old man actually spoke to Kevin like a human being and not down
Yes.
to him like the rest of the family. Yeah, again,
Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah. It's Trench. What was your thoughts on Marley, Robert Blossom's Marley?
Really good. One of the best parts of the movie. It's like, and it's kind of the don't judge a book by its cover thing. Because when you're a kid, certain things can be scary, and we've all heard those rumors like, "Oh, this guy's a weirdo," or "This guy killed somebody." I feel like that's a relatable thing, and just the church scene is probably one of the best scenes in the movie. Like, honestly, because I like how it's not it's very believable. Because they either could have made it to Kevin talk to adults, or the kid or the old man talk to childish to him, but it was a very realistic interaction between an adult and a child, and just a
Yes.
very heartfelt moment of two people that are kind of in the same position, even though it's different and they're different ages, kind of coming together and sharing a moment of bonding and helping each other.
Yeah. Which is what
It's a
also,
very good moment.
yeah, at Christmas, you know, it worked
I
really well.
we're going to talk about part two because I know a lot of people are like kind of aren't fans of it, aren't fans of part two, and certainly aren't fans of Brenda Fricker. I think Brenda Fricker done a fantastic job as the pigeon lady. I know she's nowhere near as good as Marley, but still, I have a soft spot for her. Jen, favorite trap or favorite kind of fucking takedown by Kevin?
In the first one, definitely where it's mostly between Marv and Harry and stuff, and like they're hitting, you know, and he's like, "What are you doing?" You know, because he's hitting them and stuff, and it's fun. And he's, "What are you doing, Marv?" I like that scene. I like that scene. I like it. Turns it, again. I can kind of see where we get the Saw parallels, because I mean, if you cut this movie in a certain way, it could be a fucking horror movie. It could be. This might be the first home invasion movie if you think about it.
Nace, is that you, dude?
Hello, everyone. How's it going?
Hello.
Hey, dude. Nate,
Hey, Nate.
what's your thoughts on Home Alone 1, dude? And did you see it growing up, and do you enjoy it or do you not like it?
Oh, I love Home Alone 1. I grew up, luckily, with all three of the first three movies. I had them all on VHS tape. And it wasn't the one I watched the most, but it was the one that it was one of the ones I really enjoy, especially out of Christmas movies and stuff. It's definitely one that I try to watch every time of the year. I think Home Alone 1 and 2 are a great double feature. And I think it's a movie that it works, especially for the time it was made. I know they still make them. It's kind of hard to make a Home Alone movie these days, but I thought for the time it really worked. And yeah, it's just a really wonderful, just heartwarming, well-made movie with a lot of good scenes, and I love the ending with the traps and everything. It's wonderful. I love Home Alone 1. It's great.
It's Trench, I'm going to go back to you because I don't want you thinking I skipped your engine. What's your
You're
what's
good.
your favorite trap? What's your favorite trap, Nate?
My favorite trap from the first one is well, I don't know if it's necessarily a trap, but one of my favorite scenes is when he puts the tarantula on Marv's face, and
Yeah.
he just screams his freaking lungs out. That's so awesome, and I remember I laughed to the point where I was almost crying when I first seen the movie and that happened. But I also love the paint the paint drums scene where they're throwing the paint buckets where he's throwing them down and it's hitting them in the face and stuff. That's fun.
That's a great one. Trench, what about you? What's your favorite trap or takedown from the first movie?
I'm I gotta go with the popular one when he's about the best scenes in the movie is when he's about to hit Harry and Harry's like, "What are you doing?"
That one, yeah.
And he looks up. Yeah, that was great. But I also like the flame to the head, and I like the nail scene because it's very uncomfortable until he starts screaming. Like because it's like, oh my god, you kind of like clinch up when you see it. That in the glass, it's like, oh shit, it's funny afterwards, but when it's happening, it's like, what the, oh my god, that is like Saw type shit.
Yeah.
Well, DMC's in the chat. Kiwi at the movies. DMC says, I like the tool cabinet coming down the stairs. Sounds like heavy machinery. Is that part two? That's part two. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the sound of a tool shed falling down a flight of stairs.
I love that one. What did you think of the ending with? Actually, no. Wanted John Candy. Jen? What did you think of John Candy in this movie? Very small role, but very memorable.
What polka polka polka, you know, he's and I love the interaction between him and Catherine O'Hara because like she doesn't give a shit, she's touched by him, but you know he's trying to like, I'm sure we're very big in the Midwest, you know, it's very cute. I love they play with each other, so that sounds wrong, but they play back and forth with each other so fucking well. And Catherine O'Hara, like you hear people shout out everybody in this film, but fucking Catherine O'Hara does not get enough love because she plays it very straight and she has sympathy for her mother, and but her best scenes I think are with Candy. And who doesn't love John Candy? He just has this persona no matter what movie he's in. He's huggable, lovable, and you just smile when you see the guy. And even small roles like in this one leaves a big impact. Everybody always has to bring up Candy, even though it's a pretty small part.
It's a minuscule part, but it's memorable, and it's not like he's trying to fucking console her as well, but he's actually making things worse. And it's like, you know, I've done stupid things as a parent. You ever leave your child at home alone? Oh no, never. No, never do that. I like he's trying his best. Go on. Sorry,
Oh, I
Jen.
didn't mean to interrupt you, but what I really like again, and like with the way, well, kind of like with the Marley character, probably one of the most touching scenes is like because at first Catherine O'Hara thinks, oh, this guy might be a jerk, and then he goes, oh, well, you got to go home and see you'll do that for me, really? Well, yeah, you got to go home and see your kid, and it shows humanity, but it's not doing it in a flashy way. And there are people like that who would, they don't know you from Adam, and yet they hear your story and they'll do whatever they can to help, and it shows humanity at its best. But again, it does it in a very quiet way, not a flashy way. And I like just how very understated Candy goes, well, you got to go home and see your kid.
Yeah, I like as well that they're trying to make her feel comfortable and indoctrinate her. And Candy offers her the bugle, and she's like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. Trench, what did you think of John Candy in a very small but memorable role in this?
So some of the best parts of the movie. It's like what I really like about this movie is I like the traps and stuff, but I more like that in part two. What I like about part one is him bonding with the old man and then the mom trying to get home. Like those are the best parts of the movie for me, and those are the parts that hit. And I love the parts with John Candy because it's like funny, but it's also sad. Like one moment you got a part where it's like, yeah, none of us have seen our kids and we're all estranged. And then the next second he's like, yeah, I left my kid alone in a funeral parlor. He's okay. He had to have some therapy, but he's fine. It's like, what the fuck? But it works. It really works.
It does.
Yeah, again, a great comedic actor, and it's so sad we lost him when we did because that man had Jen, you were talking about it as well. While it still is a comedy, Only the Lonely, he's brilliant in that as well. And
Yes.
it's just he got a teeny tiny role in JFK, and you got a glimpse of this guy is a fantastic comedic actor, but this guy is just a fantastic actor, full fucking stop.
Exactly.
Nate, what's your thoughts on John Candy in this tiny but memorable role?
Oh, I think it was a natural pick to get John Candy for this type of a character because I think it fit him so perfectly. And I've heard interviews with the man, and he just seems like such a wonderful person. And I think he fit roles like this very well as Barf from Spaceballs. I love him in that movie too. But even though he's got kind of a smaller role in this movie, it's very memorable, and I really like his character, and I love all the scenes with the mother trying to get home for Christmas and trying to get there to see her son. I think it's all wonderful, and I definitely think John Candy is a very important part of the movie, even though he's a more smaller role. I do think that's some of my favorite scenes, and yeah, I think he's wonderful in it. Wonderful.
He is. Again, you hit the nail on the head with that Nate. I think, like, despite such a teeny tiny role, he made it his own. Jen loves that movie as well. Only Lonely. It's a great movie.
I love that movie. It's one. It doesn't completely work, but there's so much heart and Candy. I think if it had been any other actor, I think the reason why it works as well as it does is because and Maureen O'Hara and Ali Sheedy too. But Candy just really steps out, and you can buy him as a romantic lead.
I love the bit where he gets to date with her, and he's coming out of the fucking funeral parlor or mortuary. So he's like, yes, and there's like a people, just mourners coming out. He's like, sorry. It's a great movie. It's a fucking brilliant movie. So yeah, I have we said all we can say about the first one? Shall we move on to the second one, Lost in New York, and discuss? Hey, Strange Monkey, do you want to move on to Lost in New York, guys, or is there anything else you want to bring up about this one, about Harry and Marv, or can we discuss that there?
I'm pretty much all good to go. I just think Home Alone's a very important movie, and I think it is definitely one of the ones I watch around Christmas time. If not every year, I try to watch it every other year, and I get it. I get Home Alone. I get why Home Alone is where it is. There's some other Christmas movies that get played all year round that I'm kind of like, I don't really get it, but with Home Alone, I get it, and it's my thing. So I really enjoy Home Alone. It's great.
Okay.
Before we move on, there is one thing I just want to ask everybody because it's interesting to me. Like, I guess this is our generation's "It's a Wonderful Life," and what does it say about our generation as opposed to, because they're such drastic? I mean, they both have heart. You can argue that they both have heart, but they're such drastically different films. How come Home Alone was this generation's "It's a Wonderful Life"? Because I mean, we play it just as much as they did back in the day for that one. How come? Or A Christmas Story?
I think it's more accessible. It is a comedy first and foremost, but I definitely think it's crafted more as a preteen vehicle. Again, going back to what I was saying, the style of quote unquote violence is slapstick, Looney Tune esque comedy. Like if I, you can still watch it, you can still have fun with it and go, Jesus Christ, that's impossible. But let's be honest here. If I was to break it down to a ratio, right? I'd say 40% is a solid comedy. Again, it's John Hughes, but another 60% would be kind of preteen kids movie.
I
Well,
agree. Lamona
what
brings up a good point too, because the lives that weren't as depressing in the '90s as they were in the '40s. And that sums it up right there, I think.
Again, I'm going to reiterate something I said. I genuinely think that It's a Wonderful Life didn't do good because you had Bailey going, peace and love to all mankind, less than a year after World War II. And you just have fucking G.I. Brannigan in a fucking cinema saying, yeah, goodwill to all men. Tell that to the fucking Jap. I fucking caved in his head with an anti-tank mine.
And also, if they let Donna Reed dress better.
Jesus Christ, not this again.
Every Christmas, Marty, every Christmas.
Well, what do you guys think? Nate, what do you think of Jen's question about why is this our generation's version of A Wonderful Life?
I've never seen A Wonderful Life before. I know it's one of those big movies that it's on the list for sure. But I think it's because when you have the idea of, oh my God, like I'm home alone and there's no parents here, there's no siblings, there's nothing I got to worry about. I think a lot of people would be in Kevin's shoes where it's like at first it'd be fun and you'd have unlimited access to all the TVs and play all the video games you want and jump on the bed and you can do anything you want. But then it gets really, you start realizing how you are alone and the family's not there. He's eating the dinner by himself. I also thought it was a really emotional scene because he really starts realizing that, okay, maybe I get tired of these people once in a while, but they are my family and I do miss them and it's weird not having them around. So I think it's got a really deep message, but I think a lot of people could relate to that idea of, oh my God, if I was home alone, that'd be great. You could do anything you want. But at the end of the day, family is family, no matter how mad and upset you may get at them sometimes. It's always weird not having people around and stuff like that. So, again, I've never seen It's a Wonderful Life. I know it's the big one, but yeah, I just think it was a movie that spoke to a lot of people at that time. And I think a lot of people just really dug the idea of the film.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Good point.
That and It's a Wonderful Life. I said it once, I'll say it again. It only turns into a Christmas movie in the last 15, 20 minutes. And Nate, you just reminded me of a brilliant fucking sketch as well. I think it's Robot Chicken. It's Harry and Marv. It's like Home Alone if Kevin was 14, and it's Harry and Marv in the van looking through binoculars and like, yeah, he's still watching porn. It's just like, I love that one. What's the kid doing now? He's still watching porn. Trench, what do you think? Do you think this is up there with the likes of A Wonderful Life? Is it our generation's version of A Wonderful Life?
I used to not to, like I said before, I was kind of down on this movie until this rewatch, because something about this rewatch really hit. And I think I get, and I would say so in a way, because it's like this, and I guess a Christmas story and stuff, but I feel like with this movie, like you guys said, it's a little bit more fun, but it also captures something about Christmas that people don't talk about. And if you look at a lot of the Christmas classics, like, the It's a Wonderful Life, even this movie, The Grinch, and stuff like that, there's always a hint of darkness. There's
Mhm.
always a hint of, like, darkness in there. Like in It's a Wonderful Life, the man wants to kill himself, and in Home Alone, it's like two burglars are trying to break into his kid's house, and he's setting them on fire, and it's like and the Little Match Girl. It's about a girl freezing to death in an alleyway. It's beautiful and magical, but it's about a little girl freezing to death in an alleyway because nobody cares about her. It's
Mhm.
like something about Christmas and darkness goes together, and I think the best Christmas movies are the one that captures a little bit of darkness and a little bit of real life depression, like this movie does, and It's a Wonderful Life, because this movie does it with like Marley and stuff. But in the end of the day, there's still hope at the end of the corner. But it's not too sappy with it, but it's just the right amount of niceness and the right amount of comedy and the right amount of darkness. And that's what I feel like this movie does, and It's a Wonderful Life balances the drama and darkness and hope as well. So that's kind of where I put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you answered the question beautifully. That is perfect. Yeah, that's exactly right. And also that fucking bitch Donna Reed couldn't dress.
I love it. Oh, peace and goodwill to everyone. Tell that to fucking Tojo when I caved in his head with the back of my rifle. Yeah, that movie was just a victim of its release. You don't release a movie lecturing people on humanity a year after the fucking war in the Pacific Theater. Yeah, fucking Jesus Christ. Um, guys, I'm going to move on to. We're going to move on to the sequel, the equivalent of. Some people say that Lost in New York is what Alien is to Aliens in the Home Alone series. I don't know if I agree with that, but
That's
what do
kind
you
of fair.
everything is bigger, I guess. But yeah,
Well,
well, what do you guys think? Jen, do you think Jen, what do you think? Do you think it's more bombastic and does it work, or is it just the same kind of the same fucking thing just with a different coat of paint?
Both. I think it can be both at the same time. No, I probably my thing. I think I have a little bit more stronger connection with the first one, but Home Alone 2. I mean, first of all, you can't hate the film because it has fucking Tim Curry and Rob Schneider.
Derp derp derp. Rob Schneider in derp derp derp. Sorry,
And
but
I know that's and we also have it's not it is a little bit of the same thing. They found a formula. They're going to work it. They're going to milk it for everything they have, and it is a lot more of the same. But sometimes comfort food isn't a bad. Well, that's why it's comfort food. It does feel a bill, and you're given more of the same. And there's heart to it. I think the first one has a little bit more heart. The pigeon lady is nice, but I feel like we are emotionally manipulating the audience a bit more in this one. It's a little more heavy-handed than it is in the first one. Believe it or not, the first Home Alone is probably the more subtler of the two. Believe it or
uh,
not.
Larry says one of the few movies where I don't want Rob Schneider to be hit by a bus. Um, let's see.
It's funny. He's pretty good
Oh,
in it.
sorry, Eric says that, not Larry. Sorry.
Oh,
Hey, Eric.
hi, Eric.
Let's see.
oh,
And
What's up, man?
cameo by Ali Sheedy. She must have needed the money. Wait, is Ali Sheedy in Home Alone too?
I'm trying to think.
Scotty, if she is, tell us who she is, dude.
I don't even know who that is.
I'm trying to think of who she'd be. I guess I'm a fake Home Alone 2 fan because I can't point it out. Scott, which one did she play?
One of the hookers that, like, taunts Kevin. I don't know. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, I forget that. That does happen.
Oh shit! Okay.
Oh,
That's right, Scott. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
she's
Okay,
the
yeah.
flight attendant.
Yes.
Okay.
That's oh my god! I am this year's old when I realized that was Scotty Ali Sheedy, and it was only because it was pointed out to me. Oh my god!
Jesus Christ!
I'm a fake Home Alone 2 fan. I should take off this shirt. Oh, Marty, I should take off this shirt.
Leave the shirt
Oh,
on,
God.
woman.
Don't worry, mate. It usually doesn't happen.
Actually,
Usually.
Jen, Anan, solo air, just so people can see your shirt. Just show them the shirt there.
It's the Wet Bandits, which is also what I call my panties whenever Marty's around.
God damn it! God fucking damn it!
Well, in this movie, they're the sticky bandits. Oh wait, I don't know if that makes any
You're not
sense.
helping, Jen. You're not helping. God damn it!
Oh,
You just can't win.
I did not think about what I was saying.
Harley was saying it too. Well, if you want, it still works because when Marty comes down, it's
Oh,
going to come down all in my
Where's that mute
panties.
button? Where's that mute button?
La 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 la.
Trench, what do you like and dislike about Home Alone 2?
I do think I still like Home Alone 2 better, and what I really like about Home Alone 2 is this movie is really funny. They really turned up the slapstick comedy, even to the fact that Marv has a sticky thing on his hand that he's using to steal from random people, and he's stealing from like children and adults the whole movie just randomly, and it's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense at times, but it's hilarious. I love that Tim Curry's in it. I think the part where he uses the movie in this is better. It's funnier because the reactions to everybody in that hotel, all the actors playing the hotel people, were great.
It's a lie.
Yeah. I love how he's a vigilante in this movie. I love how he doesn't have to fight the bandits, but he chooses to because he wants to help out the old man, and he wants to give the kids at the hospital a good Christmas. The bird lady doesn't work as well as Marley in the first one, but it's still nice. It's still good enough. And I do love. Oh, my bad.
No. One thing I'll say, yes, not as good as Marley, but Brenda Fricker is a fantastic actress and she does a good job. Sorry, Trench. Go on.
Yeah. No, see, that was pretty good for what it is, although I do like how Macaulay Culkin seems to switch from genuine to, like, borderline sociopathic serial killer in the movie with his performance. It's like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, dude, but it's one moment it seems genuine, the next moment I feel like Hannibal Lecter's talking to me. It's like what you're saying is nice, but it's coming out very weird, like it's fake. And it's borderline disturbing, but I kind of like it better for that. And the traps in this are amazing. I really like Home Alone 2. Home Alone 1, I think the difference is Home Alone 1, I like the emotional parts more. Home Alone 2, I like the hijinks with the kid more. I think the kid has better hijinks in this movie.
Carl just said part 2 is the best. There,
He threw down the gauntlet. I'm curious. What's everyone think of that hot take? Like, I think I'm going to be again. So I think I'm still going to stand up for 1. I appreciate 2, but I think I'm going to go with 1.
2's my favorite. I think the more I think about it, 2 might be my favorite because I think the first one has a bigger heart, but I think 2 just ups everything. It ups everything from the first movie, in my opinion.
I respect that.
I think there's elements in 2 I like, but there's also elements I don't like. Whatever about fucking with Harry and Marv. And I know Tim Curry Tim Curry is kind of Tim Curry. Tim Curry is kind of real fucking snooty sleazeball in this. But Kevin is committing credit card fraud. Those people are doing their job.
Well,
Okay,
when Marty, his dad can afford it.
maybe so, but like
He put his dad in debt for many, many years. Many years.
Like what's going to happen if, say, I don't know, an investor and an executive who runs that hotel comes in and say, you let a child mount up this much with fucking credit card fraud? Fire everyone. Fire every person in this hotel.
Considering who one of the cameos are in this movie, you could almost slate that person to be that asshole that says fire everybody. It's going to also be our president here for the second time.
Let's see. What's let's say here? I love how Curry. That's a great scene. That's a fantastic transition.
This is the closest movie we get to seeing Tim Curry as the Grinch, which is also amazing and should have happened.
Mm-hmm.
What's the happenstance? What's your view on the happenstance of Harry and Marv bumping into Kevin again in New York City? What are the chances? Like,
I mean, in this crazy world, it's so unbelievable. It's almost believable. Like, well, we've all heard weirder shit. It's much like the first one. It almost doesn't fly, but in the right circumstances, it could. So I give it a pass.
Yeah, like again, I would say it's unbelievable, but let's keep in mind as well, Marv was reduced to this. When you're in a movie where a character gets turned into a Halloween decoration, fucking, happenstance is the least of your fucking plot worries. Right. Trench, what about you? Is there anything that you're like, okay, that's a bit far-fetched or that's a bit ridiculous? Or did you just accept that we're now in a Looney Tunes cartoon?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. Like again, it's yeah, I'm nitpicking. I'm nitpicking in a movie where a person is electrocuted and temporarily turned into a fucking spirit Halloween decoration. What the fuck am I even giving out about? Yeah. Yeah, they could have made another Home Alone movie and set it during Halloween. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, that would have been. And I mean, we could have really leaned into the Saw things and all the parallels as well.
Jen, favorite takedowns or traps or moments from this one that you really enjoyed?
I think the thing that I remember everyone taking away, everyone wanted one of those talk boys? The Michael, every kid wanted one for Christmas. I remember that. And I guess it was kind of cool, like he was doing the thing on the phone and making people think he was a dude. I mean, it sounds pretty shit now. Like, I don't know if it would have flown back then, but it was kind of fun.
It was ridiculous.
I think the part that bothered me even as a kid, I'm like, you don't say it like that. The father.
Yes, Jesus Christ.
It pissed me off even as a kid. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Okay, fucking Jesus Christ. And they sold like hotcakes as well. They done really cool fucking tie-ins to the movie. Anything else? Any other moment or Whoa, hold on a minute actually before I go on. I did not know about this. Talker, there was a female equivalent.
I didn't know about this either.
What was it? Larry, was it pink?
It must have been.
Yay, equality.
I bet you that was the only goddamn difference. I'm willing to bet the lie it's purple. I'm willing to bet it's a color. That's the only thing that's different.
But like the male one sounds like a constipated man. So I'm wondering, does the female one sound like some kind of horny woman or something? Just he's,
You hear
he's in
that every
need.
day.
It fucking sounds like Jen. Jesus Christ. Aye. Christ Almighty. But yeah, no. I enjoyed it. I don't know if it's better than the first one. I think it just has a brighter coat of paint and a few more additions. Again, it's like, yeah, Harry and Marv deserve it, but those poor schmucks at the fucking hotel, not so much. And he is back. Trenchy is back.
Woohoo.
Trying to think, any particular trap or moment or anything that you liked, Jen, or you thought was
I
fun?
I was more here. I was that kid because I had already at that time when it came out I had already seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show many a time, so I was just cool. Oh my God, Tim Curry's in this. That was the thing, that the big takeaway from me. I was like, oh my God, I love this. And again, much like John Candy, a very small role for him, but man, does he utilize every scene and steal every scene. And I'll say it, I fucking liked Rob Schneider. Okay, I fucking liked Rob Schneider. I liked the tip thing. And then he's like, I got plenty of tip left. And Macaulay Culkin actually has a big wad of cash. He's like, okay, no tip. No, wait. I thought it was
That's the fun thing. Again, you're dead right though, Tim Curry. Everyone back in your rooms. There's a madman with a gun. Actually, okay, I totally skipped over it. Angels with 30, is it Angels with 30 Faces or Angels with 30 Wings? They made that like some kind of fucking Maltese Falcon kind of shitty gumshoe thing. I'm gonna get you, take your lying, dirty keister out of here. I just like that. Just like, I saw you smooching. You were smooching with Ron. I was like, he's lying. Like Nate had mentioned earlier on, he's lying. I love that scene. That scene's brilliant.
It's a lie.
But again, those people didn't deserve that. They were just doing their fucking job. What about you, Nate? Had you any favorite moment or favorite scene or favorite trap or takedown?
Oh man, I think the traps are amazing in Home Alone 2. Like, I know it's debatable whether or not Home Alone 2 is a step up or a step down from Home Alone 1, but the traps I thought were insanely well done in the second one, and they went all out. And I love how even it's to the point to where, since this house is abandoned, he can take the floors out. Harry, I've reached the top, and it just falls all the way down. I just love that. The Marv gets so many traps on him in this movie, and they're all one of them was kind of terrifying. It's the staple gun. I remember as a kid, that's terrifying. That's like Final Destination or something. Watching that moment, it's like, oh my God, it's hilarious. The bricks being thrown. I mean, I think the traps were definitely a step up. I think my favorite trap in this movie, probably with everybody else's, I'm assuming that it's, the electric trap where Marv turned into the skeleton and starts screaming and stuff. That's great. That's my favorite trap. As far as moments go, I love all the hotel stuff. It's really hard to pinpoint one moment in Home Alone 2, but I guess it would be just I'd say maybe the toy store scene. I thought that was really well done, and how he gets the doves and the guy who owns the toy store is talking to him. Really enjoyed that scene. That's a really good scene.
Yeah, it's again, it's just it just it's the same coat of paint, but it just raises the dial that bit more. The traps are more elaborate, the scenarios a bit more elaborate. It's just I don't think a lot of people think it's as Nate, as you were saying, Nate. Some people think this is better. Some people think this is worse. I think this is a good companion piece. It's no better, it's no worse.
Mhm.
It just works as a really cool companion piece. Yeah. Trench, what about you? Favorite moments, favorite scenes, favorite traps, favorite pratfalls or pranks in this movie?
Uh, um, the traps are amazing. Like Nate was saying, the trap because they really what I like about this movie, even when they're not doing the traps, they really lean into slapstick comedy, like to a point where like Marv's getting punched in the face by this woman who thinks like he's like grabbing her and stuff, and there's like the part with the paint and the part with the paint part's really funny because he's falling all over the place. He's got the paint all over him, and I love how they really play into it. That he's like, "You're gonna give up," and they're like, "Never!" And then it's like, even the part where they're pretending to go up the stairs and they thought they tricked them, but he one up them. It's like so many good parts. But I guess some of my favorite traps is like the electrical trap, the bricks. The bricks is classic. The fire where he puts his head in the toilet and explodes. And I really like the paint trap as well. But there's so many. I mean, all these traps are like golden. Because in the first one, they're a little toned down and a little bit more like believable, which is good. But in this one, they're like, "What? We don't give a fuck about believability. Let's just make it funny." And it's like they just go for it.
They go full Looney
Yeah.
Tunes with this one, I think.
Yeah.
I still don't know how he got a fucking car axle onto two fucking ropes and launched that tin over the banister. Whatever about the tins of paint, fuck it. I don't care. I don't.
There's several times though that they should either be dead or severely concussed.
Oh. And also, say if Kevin was a bit older and he was brought to court that he had killed them or paralyzed them, would the stand your ground law have applied? Would he have gotten off? It's not his property technically. In the first
In
one,
the second one, the first one, maybe the second one, he lured them to himself into a situation that he knew he was going to happen without calling the police, lured them to a strange house, tortured the fuck out of them. Like that is vigilantism. Like he cannot. There's no law protecting him now. That's vigilantism, and that is He tried to kill them. He made them climb down a rope and set the rope on fire after it was dipped in kerosene. Which again, how did he get kerosene? Why does he have kerosene?
Trenchy's right. There is this one. He's a lot more sociopathic.
As Cal just pointed out, Kevin is the good son, so I mean, yeah.
Jesus.
Really come to think of it, we all thought he was doing something fresh and different at the time, but I guess really he wasn't.
He's just doing the same thing. He's just torturing people. He's just making people's lives miserable. Yeah, I don't think this is a bad movie or better or worse. I think it's the same, just with a few more elaborate tricks and an extra coat of paint. Trench, because I know you've dabbled in them. I don't know if Nate has. The sequels, Trench, the straight to video sequels. Are they worth checking out, or should people just fucking ignore them?
I would say 3 is. Another thing is, I used to like 3 better than the original. I would have to rewatch it now to see because I've kind of like grown more to the original. Yeah, I love Home Alone 3. I grew up with Home Alone 3. Home Alone 3 is essentially like, I think it's the last kind of decent one because it's fun in its own way, but also it's like, so now we have a kid and he gets a race car as a present, but inside the race car is a military chip that could like end the world or something, and these free terrorists are after it to sell it on the black market. But he has chicken pox, so he's home alone, and he has to stop the terrorists while his mom is at work. He has to build all the traps, but he has a parrot and a mouse to help him this time. And he builds electric chairs and he throws them in the frozen pools, and he throws them down dolly. What is it called? A dolly waiter shaft. And he fucking goes crazy in this movie. There's a parrot blows a guy up at the end while saying like an Arnold type one-liner. It's like it's great.
I don't know. I never watched this one. I just couldn't. I'm like, what the fuck is with the Matrix bad guys in the background as well?
Oh yeah, those are the terrorists. So they are like terrorist underground criminals going after the military chip. But there is a great heartfelt moment in this movie where there's like an old woman next door who's kind of mean to him and is kind of like this mean old woman. But then at the end, he rescues her from freezing to death in her garage when she's tied up by the terrorists, and she learns to appreciate him. And maybe he's not so bad at it, and she tells her story, and they have that moment like in the first one, but it's more, he's kind of like not okay with her, but it's more her warming up to him, and it's a good moment.
Trench, is there a young Scarlett Johansson in this as well? Carl says there is.
Yeah, that's his sister. Scarlett Johansson's his sister.
Whoa.
Okay.
So
Trenchy,
it's Die Hard.
you forgot the
for
awesome theme song of the movie too.
Oh yeah, this is my town.
Yes. Great.
What? What?
This is my town. Watch your step if you come around. I forgot the rest of the song, but it's really good. Mac was singing it at one point.
It's great.
That was, yeah. Oh, and also when he sets up like the little dummies like he does in the other movies, instead of using a recorder, and I haven't seen it in a while, he uses the parrot. The parrot mimics what people have said and speaks while the little guy is moving. So the parrot steps in for like an adult.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a part where the cops break into somebody's house and there's a dog there and they point the guns at the dog and they're like, freeze, and the dog freezes.
I thought you were going to say they blow the dog's head off.
No, that'd be more Home Alone like 2.
Yes.
Okay. So Nate, have you seen this one? You've seen this one, yeah?
Yeah, Home Alone 3 is pretty good. It's not. I don't think it's as good as the first two, but it's a lot of fun. It's got a really crazy plot, and it's really really over the top, but it's a lot of fun. It's got some cool moments. It's the traps are pretty fun. Although there's one that involves a lawnmower, which I'm like, that dude should be dead. But they have like, no, he just got a bad haircut. And I'm like, no, he should be dead.
Yeah, the lawnmower, the electric chair, launching them into the frozen ice pool.
Jesus.
Yeah.
There is the fun one with the gnomes, and she's walking through the sludge, and she gets hit in the head with the gnomes. That was good in part 3.
Part 4, I think that poster just no.
Is that the one, guys, that was supposed to be
God.
a backdoor pilot? I know one of these movies was supposed to be a backdoor pilot for a television show that never happened. I want to say it's 4, maybe it's 5.
Things you people wouldn't believe. Sorry. Jesus
That's supposed to be Kevin McAllister too. That's supposed to be Kevin.
Yeah, and that's Harry, and that's his girlfriend.
Wait, that's Harry?
I think so. I think it's Harry and his girlfriend. I think I watched this movie once. He lives in a mansion, I think. It's not good. And I like Home Alone 3, so... And I know people say that one's not good, but Home Alone 3 has problems, but it is not as bad as this movie. Although, it doesn't make sense why they're leaving the kid home alone when there's a neighbor next door that could watch them, but, it is what it is.
And it has one of the most hilarious taglines, because I think when it first came out, it was called Home Alone 4, Back to the House. But I'm like, Home Alone 3's in a house.
I think Lee hit the nail on the head. That looks horrible. Yeah, it fucking no shit. No
Is this
shit.
going to be next year's trash fire for Christmas, darling?
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
Like, why didn't Kevin
Oh.
Gage?
You could do 4 and 5. I haven't even dared to watch 5 yet. I think I've seen clips.
Oh,
Wait,
God.
Kevin a vampire? He stayed the
Wait,
same
wait, wait,
age
wait,
for
wait.
15
Hold on,
years.
Trench. Is 5 the one that Disney made where it's not burglars, but it's a
Oh.
couple that want to get a doll back because Disney were afraid of having children in danger with criminals?
No, that's the reboot /6 one. I think they made a one after this. I forget if it was a boy or a girl, but I think there's like 4 or 5 criminals in that one.
Oh, the
Kind of
one
like
after
the
this is the Holiday
one.
Heist, I think, is what it's called.
The Holiday Heist. Yeah, I didn't watch that one. I think I've seen a little bit of it, but one day I'll watch them all just to be like I watched them all. But
Let's
I don't know.
have a look at the poster for 5 and see if it's. Oh, fuck me sideways. I want to shoot that
Okay.
child. I want to shoot that fuck. Jesus fucking origami duck shite. What the?
Right.
Then check this out. Check this fucking scour out. Jesus.
It's a thing.
Even when Trenchy's like, I'm out, guys, it makes me very. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
What the fuck?
I mean, does anyone else see porn? Like the way they're doing their mouth? I know it's a kid, but does anyone else see porn?
Oh.
Is it
We probably shouldn't go there. I know we're gonna go there anyways, but we probably shouldn't.
No, don't, Jen, don't. Jesus Christ.
Mate, you're not on the list yet. If you stay on the stream, you'll get on the list. It's great.
Oh, God.
Oh.
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 You're just doing this.
What the fuck? Jen, no.
No, fair.
God damn it. Look, and those eyes as well. They've seen some shit.
I wonder if that kid knows, like, man, my career is already starting off on the bad foot.
Yeah.
Career? What?
Home Alone 5.
Career?
But
Jesus Christ.
I would say that Home Alone 3 is like our generation's Home Alone. We might have some nostalgia for it, but at the same time, I don't know if you would agree. I do think there's at least some decent writing in that one that's better than like 4 and all this other shit.
Yeah, three's
There's a
not
charm
bad.
to that movie.
It's a pretty good movie. That's pretty good for a
Yeah,
part 3.
I think if it wasn't Home Alone 3, I think, because if you take it as its own movie, it's fine. It's okay. It's not amazing, but it's a good movie. It's fun.
Yeah. Does
Although
anyone
the
know plot
excuses
for
they
this
make
one?
up. My bad.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Do any of you guys know the plot to this one? Jen wants to know.
I have no idea.
I think there's like 5 or 6 criminals in this one. I think. I haven't seen it.
More
What are you
criminals.
saying?
That's what we need, more criminals.
Just fucking keep sending fucking dudes to the meat grinder. Trench, I know you've a contentious relationship with this one, and I totally understand why, because again, it's not criminals. Disney did not want to put a child in jeopardy. It's a couple that were accidentally stole a doll, accidentally sold a doll that can get them out of a financial bind because they're expecting a child. So you
Wait, so the woman's pregnant when she's doing this?
Yeah, apparently so.
Wait, what? Wait, no. What the fuck?
It's just mine, Marty.
I haven't seen this one, but I saw that, and I thought at first, oh, it's just this couple being tortured by the kid, but they're still trying to break into his house. This is wrong. And I get the kid doesn't know, but the woman's pregnant?
Basically,
No
they want to
wonder
get
why they say the kid's the villain.
Wait, so
they-
this movie is the kids' version of Inside?
Oh
I
my
don't know.
god.
All I know is basically this couple, she's either pregnant or expecting a kid, or they want to have a kid, but they're financially strapped and they realize they made a mistake by selling this doll or teddy or something like that. And they have to break into the house to get it. And fucking this piece of shit kid is just being a piece of fucking shit. And the only good thing in it is it's connected to the first one because Buzz is a cop in this, and he's like, "Oh, this
Why
is
is Buzz a cop? Well, actually, that's close to reality. Never mind. That actually tracks.
That actually makes sense.
He's like a second thought.
I know Cliff Notes about this. I haven't watched it, but from what I hear, the child is so unlikable, and it doesn't help that that it isn't criminals. It's just a struggling couple who want to get onto the financial property ladder, and so they can provide for their child, expecting child. And this kid's just been a piece of shit. Has anyone seen this fucking?
I've seen a little bit. I didn't finish it because I thought if I'm going to do this, we'll do it for a trash fire. I saw like maybe 20 minutes of it, maybe not even that much, but I saw a chunk. And yes, that kid is very fucking unlikable, and he's gonna have to fucking walk on water to be redeemable by the end. I haven't seen it all, but yeah, you're right, the kid is not likable, and yeah, that's the problem with this movie. They're doing it for a reason. Like they're not bad people, and it's not really their fault. They just made a mistake, and this little kid is a bastard.
Yeah, it's like, I get it, Disney, you don't want children in jeopardy, but can I just point out this is fiction? There's been 5 of these fucking things. Granted, the latter have been dog shit, but still,
My thing is like unless it's like where you're rooting for them, unless you're gonna make the kid an all out villain, and he's like the bad guy of the movie, and he gets sent to like juvie at the end. The thing is, you don't make your villains likable unless you make them likably evil, like Harry and Marv. Like, you like watching Harry and Marv, but they're bad guys. You like them as bad guys. You do not feel sympathy for them, but you like them. You find them funny. That you should not feel sympathy for the people the child is torturing. This is not how Home Alone works.
This is how it works in this one, and everyone has pointed out that problem, Trench, because this kid is not likable, and like you got a problem when you're more with or your quote unquote villains. This little kid is a psycho. This little kid could be more like Saw than Kevin McAllister.
it's a stupid premise. You've sabotaged your plot from the get-go by making the quote-unquote antagonists a couple who just want a house so they can raise children.
They just want to live.
They do.
Thank you.
And
I
what's
hope
crazy
she's
is
not
that
actually pregnant.
I'm not an animal.
this isn't even the last Home Alone movie.
Are we getting another one?
There's one that we left out. It's called Bone Alone.
Oh,
Whoa!
is it a porn?
No, it's a dog.
No, God.
It's,
Oh, you
I
got me
seen this.
excited.
Nate, stop bringing your porn into the stream.
No. It's not. I actually saw that in a
sounds like
charity
it, though.
shop. Nate, I saw it in the charity shop. It's from the religious branch of the asylum.
Mhm.
Wait, you mean this is a religious film?
Yeah, it's about a dog that's protecting the house of his owner and the bad guy. Nate, am I right in guessing the bad guy is Kevin Sorbo?
I think so, yeah.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Oh, God damn.
Wait,
Yeah.
the dog get crucified and then come back from the dead as Jesus? That'd be great.
No, it's just it's saying about the wholesomeness of animals and how I'll show you, because they try and recreate the font and the image, the dog is literally holding its face in a fucking hang on a minute. Christ, I'm putting
Bone
this into
Alone.
my fucking I'm putting this into my search engine.
You guys can't get mad at me. That's a porn title if I've ever heard one.
Why
guys
would you
can't
call
get mad
it
at me for this.
Why would you
I don't
call
know.
it Bone Alone?
God damn it. I don't know. I'll go look. Anyone who's still watching, check this out for poster. Jen, you're gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, this isn't an official Home Alone movie, but it's one of the rip-offs.
Jesus, God in heaven,
I just figured we give it like I guess an honorable mention.
Oh, what's one of the best Home Alone copycats? Or like unknown ones that you'll think deserve more
I
attention?
don't know. Just before we move, that's a good question, Trench, and go on to that. Before we move on, right? I had a chance to pick this up, and Jen will tell you I will watch any shit. I will watch absolute dog shit. Pun very much intended. And I left this tin for 50 cents in a charity shop. So
you were like, no, I can't.
Oh
even
my
I have
God.
standards, and I have standards, and I'm in a relationship with Jen, for Christ's
I
sake.
knew that was coming. I knew that was
But no, Trench actually had a really good question there. I'd probably go with Blank Check as a Home Alone kind of fucking copycat. Would that qualify, Trench?
But they are movies similar to that, and I hate calling movies copycats because I do think they're similar in the same genre. But some of those like kids movies were like going out of their way to copy Home Alone. It's not like a Gremlins and Critters situation where they're just similar movies, but they're not copycats. It's like some of these movies like were directly copying Home, like Three Ninjas was like combining Karate Kid and Home Alone, and it's a thing.
Yeah.
Tracy would better watch out because I mean it would that because that has a lot of similar elements to Home Alone. It's just kind of more in the horror territory. Would you consider that?
Yeah, that's playing directly off of Home Alone and inverting it into a horror. Yeah, that one's great.
Yeah, I love that one. I do too. I love that one.
Nate, have you any kind of copycats or imitators that you think are good or bad or that you enjoy regardless of quality?
I haven't seen too many of the movies that copy the formula of Home Alone, although I have seen Phantasm 3, which has a kid in that movie who has traps and stuff set up around the house to kill the villains and stuff. So it's not the whole movie, but there is a portion of that movie where there's a kid in this house by himself, has traps set up, but his traps actually kill people. So it's a little different. But yeah, that's about as close as I got to that.
I never thought about it. You're right, though. I never would have even thought. My mind didn't go there, but you're absolutely right. That's a good one to bring up.
I gotta see that one.
There's actually one, but I can't include it because it came out before Home Alone, and it stars fucking Gary Cole as this kid who's an arsonist, and like he sets traps for. He's a villain. He's burning houses and stuff because his mom won't pay attention to him, and he like booby traps a house and kills a bunch of cops and a rival gang and a girl that won't go out with him, and just it's a fucking bizarre movie.
I want to see this movie, actually, Marty.
Oh, Lamona said Problem Child. Yeah, Problem Child is great. John Ritter's great in that as well. And fucking, what's his name? Kramer, the racist guy. He, I forget the, Edward, Michael, what's the fucking actor's name? Edward? No.
I forget.
I know who you're talking about. I do. It'll come to me. Problem Child's a good choice. Michael Richards, thank you.
Thanks, Lamona. Yeah.
I have two.
Go for a Trench.
There's this movie from the 90s I had on DVD as a kid that nobody remembers. It's not great, but it's called Boys Will Be Boys, and that's I like that movie enough for what it is. It has Mickey Rooney in it.
Oh, okay.
And then there's this like French Christmas horror film where I forget what it's called, but there's this kid and he's in he's kind of like Rambo in a way, and he's got his sick grandfather, and this guy who's like a killer Santa breaks into his house and he sets up traps for him while he's trying to like take his grandfather that's really sick and like hiding him in like suits of armor and shit. It's really good. It's from France. I don't know if it came out before Home Alone, but it's a good movie.
What's the name of it, Trench?
I forget. I think it's like Deadly Games or something like that. I forget, but it's really good.
Okay, I'll check them out.
I have to find the name of it.
I think it might be Deadly Games.
Yeah, I'm thinking it is too.
Yeah,
Ah,
that might be 80s or 90s, but it's French. It's really good. Like the grandfather's sick, so he hides him in a suit of armor at one point, and he like sets up traps in his like little castle. Well, it's not a castle, but it's like a really big house, kind of a castle. There's suit of armor in there.
Trench, hold on a minute. God damn it, where are you gone? Open image. I think I found a Trench. Give me 1 second. If I'm not mistaken. Share screen. Yeah, I think this is it, Trench.
Oh yeah, that is it.
Very cool. I think Sparky's talked about this one. It's ringing a bell. I don't think I've seen it, but I think Sparky's talked about it.
Yeah, Deadly Games, aka Dial Code Santa Claus.
This got a 4K release, for fuck's sake. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it's a really good movie, actually. It's not like amazing, but it's a good movie. Like, it's pretty damn good for what it is.
Cool beans. Has anyone else anything they want to add about Home Alone, be it past, present, or future? Or like, where could the next Home Alone take place? And actually, I although Nate mightn't be impressed, what if there was some kind of multiversal event that switched places, where Kevin McAllister switched places with John McClane in Nakatomi Plaza?
Well, then maybe Die Hard be a better movie, but I don't.
Fuck you, Nate! Come on.
Oh, this man made me defend Die Hard and I like Die Hard. I don't like it as much as other people, but he's like, it's not a classic, and I'm like, dude, yes it is. And I'm like, why am I defending Die Hard of all people? I'm usually defending other movies against Die Hard.
And then by the end,
what are you doing to me?
One of his favorite action movies. No.
God damn it! God damn it!
There's a better action Christmas movie, Lethal Weapon, and as Mac pointed out now, First Blood.
Yeah, there's a Christmas tree in the background.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there is. Technically, you're right.
Well, I always forget because like where they're at's up in the mountains, so I'm like, oh, it's probably just snowy up there all year round. But yeah.
Well, Mona, I'm the same. I like Die Hard, but I don't go out of my way to like. It's Christmas. I need to see Die Hard.
I do.
I know.
I do.
But you don't go out of your way to see incest flesh cookies like I do every year.
What
That's
movie
a
is
good
that?
movie. Oh, Black Christmas, the remake.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the name of a movie. I'm like, what?
It would be if Jen had her way. If Jen had her way. Well, if Jen had her way, a lot of things would be fucking,
Like, who the hell made that movie?
Well, Dawkins could do the soundtrack.
Wonderful.
Go on. Say that title again, Jen. Say that title again.
Incest flesh cookies.
That's going to be Jen's album if she ever releases if she ever starts a music
biography. Hey everyone, me holding up my skirt on the cover going, hey everyone, check out my incest flesh cookies.
Oh my god.
Marty's dating me. Marty's
Yeah,
dating me.
you know what, Jen? You know what? Tori Amos breastfed a pig on the cover of one of her albums. So, you know, they fucking didn't let anything slide nowadays.
Oh my god.
La 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 la
La
la.
la la la. Aye.
Gotta love the holidays.
You do. I'm looking forward to watching some Christmassy stuff. I have yet to watch Die Hard. I usually watch it on Christmas Eve, while eating a bunch of fucking junk food. I'll be watching it. I don't think I'll be eating junk food though this year because of me old guts. But yeah, no. Hopefully, I'll get to check out some other stuff. Actually, Nate, what is your quintessential Christmas movie to watch this time of year that you can watch time and time again?
That one's a tough call. And I got some confusing picks too, because most of my Christmas movies I watch around Christmas aren't necessarily Christmas movies. Like I think my quintessential Christmas movie I watch is Willy Wonka. A lot of people don't look at that as a Christmas movie though, but that's the one I always watch around Christmas. I don't know, just something about the spirit of that movie, the cheer and everything. I guess if I were to pick a Christmas movie, I find myself always watching The Polar Express around Christmas. And I know a lot of people, and that's what's weird about it is like I wouldn't even necessarily say it's my favorite Christmas movie. I just find myself watching that a lot. Home Alone's another one. Home Alone 2 that I usually watch those back to back. But yeah, I might have to say Polar Express because I watch that more than A Christmas Story. I watch that more than even the Scrooge movies. I'm just not a very typical guy when it comes to Christmas movies, but I'd say either Willy Wonka or the Polar Express.
Those are good choices.
I get what you're saying about Willy Wonka and stuff because there are certain movies that because they were on TV or maybe you got them as a gift for Christmas. For example, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, that's always on TV around Christmas time. As I was explaining to Jen when we done the review, I think my dad or my brother got Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves for Christmas, and when it first came out in VHS, so I kind of de facto I kind of de facto consider that a Christmas movie. So like, you know, it's I think it's associated with a memory as well. Fucking Jesus. I'm sorry, guys, I'm fucking half. DMC says Christmas Vacation for me. Trench, what about you? What's your quintessential Christmas movie to watch again and again?
I don't really have any that I watch like every year. Cause I try to switch it up, but at the same time, there's a few that always pop up. Like for me, it's more special. Like I like the Rankin Bass stuff, but Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas and the Grinch always like the original Grinch are always two that I kind of usually just end up watching. And like I try to watch Unaccompanied Minors because that's like my favorite one. But those are a few I try to watch, and then I try to watch some horror ones as well, like Santa Sleigh or Black Christmas. But I usually like interchange those with like other ones. So you know.
Yeah, no, I'd watch the likes of Gremlins and Krampus and stuff, and
Oh yeah, Gremlins, Frosty the Snowman. There's certain ones that I try to get to, but sometimes I don't. But I try to.
I do like Jack Frost, not the Michael Keaton one, the other one where he has his way with
Around the carrot?
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. That's
That's
hilarious.
a good movie.
Yeah, it is.
It's,
Marty, you didn't ask what little Jen liked to watch when she was little Jen for Christmas.
I'm terrified to, but go on.
Even this is going to surprise everybody, but they played this on CBS like for so many years when I was growing up, and I would always get pissed if I missed it. And it's very weird for me. But does anyone remember the mice? And even a miracle needs a hand. I fucking love that as a kid. I love fucking mice.
I don't think it made it to my side of the pond, Trench. Nate, do you know what this, or is it a fever dream of some misguided child?
I know of it. I know of it. I know it used to play on Cartoon Network. I don't think I ever got to watch the whole thing, but I know what it is. And I know a lot of people are fond of it. I think I was talking to somebody about it. I think it might have been Corey. He's fond of it too. So, yeah, a lot of people. I do want to see that one. And someone did a recreation of a Cartoon Network Christmas block, and they uploaded it with commercials from around. I don't know if it's 90s or 2000s, but yeah, it's you can watch it on YouTube with commercials, but it's in a block. But they give you timestamps, so you can skip to it if you want to. But it's on YouTube.
Yeah,
If that's the right one.
It is. It is. I know and it's actually really sweet, and it's about mice and people, and like a mice, he's all scientific, and he's like, there is no Santa, and there's a clock, and that's what they have to do. Even a miracle needs a hand, because they have to fix it. Because Santa gets pissed at people. He's like, fuck you people. You guys are gonna be shitheads. Y'all don't get Christmas presents, and so it's up to the
Y'all ain't getting shit this year.
Santa's a brick in this. And then they make a clock that says ding dong, Santa come, please, Santa come. Which, you think with me that'd be a different kind of movie, but it's actually really sweet.
Wait, do you guys remember the Richie Rich Christmas movie sequel to the first movie?
No.
I think I heard of it, but I don't think I
I've seen the trailer, but I'd never watched any of the Richie Rich movies.
It's not great. I remember seeing it as a kid, and then I looked at it. It's like, this is nothing like I remembered it being. But I did. But it's like A Wonderful Life with Richie Rich on Christmas.
That's sweet.
I haven't seen that one. One Disney, because a lot of the Disney straight-to-video sequels are shit. Bar one, Beauty and the Beast, Belle's Christmas Adventure, where again Tim Curry turns up as
the organ, right?
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. But yeah, it's worth checking out. I think I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. But before I do, I'm wrapping up the stream, Jen. Not my penis. Don't get too excited.
Damn it.
So
I had to clarify that.
Yes.
You have to with her. You have to. It's like a minefield of sexual innuendos.
Yes.
But
And it could go off just like Marty at any time.
Jen's like, I'll diffuse it. You don't need to use your mouth, Jen. See, I'm beating you to the pass. All right. So, before I finish up, Jen, what is on the horizon and what's currently on your channel that you want folks to check out or keep their eyes peeled for?
Well, I've actually got a video that I uploaded last night. If you guys are looking for Christmas recommendations, I'm giving you my top 10 favorite horror Christmas movies. And I think there's some pretty good ones. There's some that you guys will probably know are on there, but there's a couple that don't get talked about enough that you guys might want to check out. As for what else is coming up, I am going to be, as everyone as longtime viewers of the channel know, that the last two videos of the year that I like to close out with are my best and worst list. list. We do the worst first. We purge out all the shit that made us angry, and then we like to end the year on positivity, and we always end with our best of list. So those two, but there might be a couple more videos coming before those. I can't promise anything, but we're gonna try. I want to. If I don't get a rant out about fucking Speak No Evil remake, it'll come in the new year, much like Marty.
Here was me
A
planning.
New Year's celebration, huh?
All over my boobs. It's like
Oh my God.
Now they're really the sticky bandits. Anyway, okay.
you don't even blink anymore, darling. It's just a devastating you.
I'm just acclimatized to this fucking sordid fucking atmosphere. Trenchy, is there anything currently on your channel you want people to check out? And is there anything that you hope to have out soon enough that you want people to check out? No, Jen, I'm talking about Trenchy's channel and not my penis, okay? Trench?
Yeah, I have no connection to that. Yeah.
It's usually connected on my vagina.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
But you've a review out at the moment. What's the review that's out at the moment that people should check out?
Well, Nate asked me if I could review the Karate Kid movie, so I reviewed the second best thing. I reviewed a Karate Christmas Miracle that has Martin Cove in it. Even though he's not really in the movie, his scenes were taken from another movie. But it's a thing that exists. It's okay. Like, I had fun with the movie, but it's got really problematic stuff in it, and it's not great. And it makes no sense.
Okay, but well, definitely check it out because Trenchy, when Trenchy reviews something, he doesn't do it by half measure, and I always have fun watching Trenchy's stuff. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm guessing.
Did you see what Lamona said? That you're very blessed. Did you see that? Highlight it.
Some people say blessed, some people say cursed. Hey, Texas, sometimes they can mean the same fucking thing. But yeah, and Trench, as per usual, it's a case of just keep your eyes peeled on your channel because it's whatever way the wind takes you, that content comes out, correct?
Yeah, I don't have any schedule or anything. Whatever happens will happen. And I don't know what's gonna happen. It could be a review or it could be like that other video I put out where it's like I have no explanation for what's happening. Things are just happening.
Cool beans. Nate, what is up for Grief World? Is there some stuff on the horizon and is there stuff out currently?
I'm kind of taking the Trenchy approach right now with the channel. Just whenever something speaks to me in the moment, I'm gonna start making stuff. There is something that we're trying to get planned. That's going to be discussing quite a bit of movies, about 4 movies. We had this idea because we had all recently, like me, Trenchy, and John, and a few other people have been talking about certain movies, and we realized like, oh, these movies could all be kind of put together and talked about in a big discussion. And it's like Combat Shock, Driller Killer, Miss 45, and Deadbeat by Dawn. So we're trying to get that planned out right now with everybody's schedules and everything. But if I'd love to do that, that'd be an amazing show to talk about that with some people. But yeah, that's something that it's not set in stone yet. But I'm definitely would love to do that stream. It'd be a really cool one.
Sounds like it would be.
Cool beans. Currently at the moment. You don't encourage her, Lamona. She doesn't need it. Currently at the moment, I just released a video there earlier on today about my top 5 favorite Christmas songs. I know it's a bit of a deviation, but yeah, no, I try and get in the festive spirit. Also, some fucking sexy lunatic from New Mexico
I'll kill her, Marty. I'll kill her.
She's gonna fucking kill me with it. So going, sent me a fucking arseload of figures. I'm fairly sure I know 60% of them, but
Why don't you put the money where your mouth is? Is this your final answer?
I'm fairly sure I do. But I'm going to be reviewing them, and we're probably going to do one more Festive Flicks. We're not 100% sure, but it'll probably be between Christmas and New Year's. And at some stage, it's up. I honestly, I need to hash stuff out with Nate, but we're going to be talking about um the Xbox 360 favorite games for that, and some other consoles at some stage in the new year. I know Nate's got a lot on his fucking plate at the moment, so I don't want to put a gun to his head. We'll hash something out, but keep your eyes peeled for that. And before I go, I just want to say a massive thanks to everyone in the chat. Larry, aka the Horror Cat Dad, Lamona Demona, Tex came in there. Thanks a million, Tex. DMC Campbell, aka Kiwi at the movies. Strange Monkey was in as well. Kal-El Daly. Who else? I'm fucking blind. I'm going blind, guys. I'm going blind.
You got everyone. I'm pretty sure. I don't
Yeah.
think you missed anyone.
Yeah,
and also,
yeah.
Strange Monkey put out a video for Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, and it's a really great review. You guys should definitely go to his channel and check it out.
Yeah, definitely check out Strange Monkey's channel, but make sure you check out as well Larry's channel, Damona's channel, Texas channel, Kiwi's channel, Cal's channel. Just check out these awesome fucking people. And if I don't see you guys between now and Christmas, oh Jesus Christ Almighty! Can I just finish the fucking stream in some kind of festive? No. It's all right. It's all right.
You must stay strong, Marty. You must stay strong.
I'll be good for this last 5 seconds.
Okay. You know, if I don't see you now between now, like I hope your Christmas it's good and tight and it's busting out of stuff, like, you know, and I hope it isn't too wet, and I hope it isn't too cold and slippery. I hope you have a good Christmas. I hope it's you don't get too hot or too sweaty. I just hope Christmas is there. Stay strong for Christmas, because Christmas can be hard. Okay, Christmas can be super hard for some people. You know,
very hard
and very tight. I know, because this day and age with the economy, things can be tight, ever so tight. Okay, it can be hard and tight, but don't let that get you down. So with that,
I'm sorry, I told out as long as I could.
I knew you couldn't. Right, with that, I'm gonna end it here. But guys, thanks a million. You guys are all fucking brilliant. I love you guys, and my guests, my gorgeous lady Jen Mitchell, aka Jen's Reviews from the Grave, my queen, my goddess. I love her to bits. She's fantastic. The absolute fucking pillar of this community, and you can ask anyone, anywhere, anytime. Trenchy, kid, the soulless trench coat, fabulous guest, and kind of an auxiliary guest, but by means not a fucking hand-on of a guest, an absolute fucking gentleman and a chap. Nate, aka Grief World, another fantastic chap. Thanks to everyone who joined, and have a great Christmas and a fantastic New Year.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Good.
Bye.
Bye.